Okay, now you're going to be given the task to find the derivative of the inverse function. But in order to do that, we probably need to review finding inverses of functions. So the first step that you need to remember is this f of x. We're going to rewrite, see, did I put that over here? No. We're going to rewrite, so you rewrite y is equal to. Then you swap the x's and the y's. You solve for y, and then you rewrite as f to the raised -1 of x. So let's get started. So I rewrote this as y is equal to, I'm just saving some state. And then I'm swapping the x's and the y. So all I did right here is swap the x and the y, and now I'm going to get the y by itself. So I'm going to subtract a 3 to both sides. So I subtracted a 3, subtracted a 3, and that would have left this. So divide 2, and when you divide 2, you divide it by the entire thing, right? So if it helps, do this. And that leaves y squared. Well, what's the undoing of y squared? Yep, taking the square root of both sides. But here's a tip. I would, instead of writing it as the square root, I would write it as parentheses to the raised 1/2 power. And then you can rewrite that as just like that. All right, so we're going to come over here, and this makes your life easy if you follow these steps. So here's the original function. There's 3 things that you need. You need to find the derivative of that function. So the derivative of 2x squared plus 3 is just 4x. So that's pretty easy. Well, we just found the inverse. The inverse function is x subtract 3, all of that over 2 being raised to the 1/2 power. And then look at, we've got an inverse formula. It's 1 over, so f to the -1, the derivative of the inverse, simply says it's 1 over the derivative of f, but where the x is goes the inverse. So the derivative is this. So 4 parentheses, and inside the parentheses goes that. And now I could convert it back to this if I wanted. X subtract 3 all over 2. And you know what? Most professors are going to allow you to leave it just like that. I didn't have professors that had me simplify that any further. If they do, they'll have you get rid of the denominator, so you'd multiply top and bottom by the square root 2. But I don't think that they're going to do that. I think that they would allow you to leave that in that form just like that.